What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I have a little bit of news for you about Love is Blind Season 1 star Carlton Morton. He actually did an interview with TMZ TV recently where he talks about the possibility of him returning to Season 2 of Love is Blind or getting his very own spin-off. In his interview with TMZ, he talked about how he would be open to the idea of being casted for Season 2 of Love is Blind, but I don't really understand why he would go public with something like that, because Love is Blind Season 2 is going to be shot in Chicago, and Carlton does not live in Chicago. Carlton lives in Atlanta, and that's exactly why he was casted for Season 1 of Love is Blind. They were looking for singles in Atlanta. Season 2 is looking for singles in Chicago. They're not interested in like long distance love between different states or anything like that. So it was a very interesting kind of soundbite for him to kind of put out there for a lot of people in the media to run with. And he also said that if that did not pan through, he was also open to the idea of getting his very own spin-off show. And he actually didn't lay it out as if it was just like a hope or a dream or anything like that. Carlton made it seem as though certain networks had approached him with the idea of doing a show where men and women did compete for his love and affection.
There's also like just tons of people like producers and show creators who have been reaching out, who want for me to almost spin off into getting my own situation where guys fight for my love.
And I just really want to clarify this right now, because he was doing like some interviews with press outside of TMZ where he talked about it would be like the first time on television where something like that would kind of go down, but it's not true. There used to be a show called A Double Shot at Love with Tila Tequila where men and women did fight for Tila's love at the end of the show. It was kind of like a Bachelor sort of show, but with the bisexuality angle. And so although it would be great for Carlton to get another version of that, or like anyone to get another version of that to have more representation, it's not going to be brand new, except, you know, maybe of course with the fact that it would be a male lead this time around. My personal hope for Carlton is that he would be a lot better of a catch or of a suitor for somebody now that he is out in the open. I know that him holding that secret in while he was on Love is Blind, the secret that he was bisexual, really messed with his kind of ability to connect with his fiance at the time, Diamond, after they met face to face and were whisked off to Mexico to kind of connect as a couple. He was not really able to kind of let his guard down and speak to her as a regular person. He acted very erratically from the moment they were there together, and when he finally let her know about his secret and she wanted to let him know that she accepted him the way he was, he just blew up in her face because he was so dead set on the idea that she would have rejected him, and he wanted to be the one to kind of ruin the relationship first and sabotage it. So, you know, I'm hoping that now that that weight has been lifted off of his shoulders, he conducts himself very, very differently. I do have to admit though, you guys, that I'm kind of worried for Carlton if this were in fact to go through. First of all, I don't believe that this is going to happen. I don't believe that a television show starring Carlton alone is going to make it to air, to Netflix, to any kind of station, network, whatever. No, like maybe YouTube, but like I don't believe it's going to be like a huge production or anything like that, just because he was probably the least likable character from Love is Blind, and probably from like quite a lot of reality shows, you know, in general, just by the way that he treated Diamond on Love is Blind. You know, like she accepted him for who he was. She just wanted to have a conversation with him so that she could understand some things a little bit better. But he resorted to calling her names, degrading her appearance, telling her her wig was sliding, calling her stereotypical, saying, oh, he doesn't date women like this anyway. And after the show even aired, he relentlessly harassed her online for weeks, if not months. He, again, went to the wig comments. He was like, oh, her wig was smelly. I'm going to put my own wig line out there of fresh smelling wigs. He threatened to sue her. He intimated that she was not even like a natural born woman. Like, he really went in on this poor woman to the point where she had to block him. And then when Diamond blocked him, what did Carlton do? First of all, on Love is Blind, he staged this really like BS self-serving apology proposal thing and asked her out on another date like nothing happened. And then when she didn't accept it, he continued back on his Instagram posting about her and how much he missed her and begging his fans to ask her to unblock him. You know, like he led a harassment campaign against this poor woman, and still doesn't see anything wrong with it. So he just is too loose of a cannon, too much of a liability, and a very unlikable person overall. But in keeping with him being a loose cannon, let's take this a little bit of a step further and talk about the way he conducted himself on the media runs for the show. So after Love is Blind premiered on Netflix, it was a runaway success. Like everyone was talking about it, and Mark Cuevas and Lauren Speed Hamilton were chosen to be the spokespeople for the show. So they would do all the major network interviews. They worked so hard promoting the show and carried themselves very well. Carlton, on the other hand, he didn't get that many interviews, and when he did, he acted up every damn time. I have a video, I'll link to it in the description down below, just so you can get an idea of just one of those instances of him having a massive meltdown. And in fact, it was after the radio interview that I linked to in my description box down below, like he has a huge fit. Like he is just whining, borderline crying throughout the entire interview. Just, I don't know why. Like I really don't know why. He just got in there. He just got in the room looking for a fight the whole entire time. And no matter what either host did to try to cheer him up, to try to encourage him, he kept bringing the energy of the show down. And then when people would ask him questions, like viewers would ask him questions and he didn't like what they were saying, he would kind of berate them. He would be like, well, I'm on the highest rated show on Netflix, something you'll never be in your life. Or, you know, you're this, you're that. Like, you know, he really did a very poor job of handling media interactions as a person who wasn't even getting that many media interviews to begin with. He said that he was never going to do urban media. He was just going to stop doing press altogether after his, third interview. So if Carlton were supposed to have his own show, he would have to do 30, 40, 50, 100 interviews in order to promote the heck out of it. And, you know, he's already proven to be someone who is not reliable for that. And after the interview that I'm even talking about, he went online and, issued a cry for help. Like he basically was talking about how he was thinking of ending his own life because he did not like the way that the public was reacting to him. And in keeping every single one of these factors in mind, I just don't see Carlton as someone who is marketable enough to have his own show or to be on season 2 of another show. He's not like a returning fan favorite. He's a returning hated character, sorry to be so blunt, but of course, above all, having his very own show. I don't believe it's happening. I think that he is talking out of his ass per usual. But, enough about my opinions. As always, you guys, I'm a lot more excited to hear what you have to say about everything. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below and we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.